Okay, today I'm going to explain my incubator, nebulizer, and my oxygen tank for my puppies. I didn't have this at first, and I realized that I needed it, and I got it. The whole system cost about $1,400, and it's well worth the money. One trip to the emergency room, and you're spending that much by the time, they keep them for a couple days. And if they keep the puppy, let's think about it. You have a newborn puppy that needs help. Well, a lot of times they need assistance and they need their mother. So you've got the litter of the other puppies that are healthy and fine, and you have to deal with, trying to figure out what to do with this puppy that's not. And if you bring the puppy to the vet, first of all, they charge you an arm and a leg. Second of all, if you're really good at tube feeding, which I am, you have to trust that the little 18-year-old working at the vet's office, vet tech, is going to tube feed your puppy better than you are. And tube feeding is very dangerous. It takes a lot of practice and skill in order to know how to do it right. And a lot of puppies die in the process. So it's a nightmare thinking about bringing your puppy to the vet for assistance. So I got this system. Next time I have a problem, it's going to come in very handy. This right here, I'm still playing with the temperature. Right now I just turned it on, so it's warming up, but I'm thinking since a mother's temperature is 100 to 102, I'm thinking about 98 is a good temperature for the puppy, because if you have them too cold, they're going to die. If you have them too hot, they're going to die. So don't take my advice. You kind of, ask your vet, feel it out for yourself, because I don't want to be to blame if your puppies die, because they definitely can. I have this is the temperature for the inside. It's nice, comfortable, and I got it from Lifeline Pet Supplies. Nice, comfortable little thing. You can buy heating pads from them to stick in here too, which I think I might decide to try, because I think it might be a safer bet to have this more like 87 degrees and then have that heating pad in there, because the heating pad is the perfect temperature for a puppy. So then we've got these little ports. It's kind of hard to see, but there's two black things. Well, the middle one's a nebulizer. That one is for the humidifier, and then the other one over here is where the oxygen comes in. I can feel it coming in. The oxygen tank works non-stop. You don't have to refill the oxygen. It just works out of the air in the room. It's a little loud, but I've got my little bed over here for when I have puppy problems. I sleep in here because I want to be around my puppies. I'm really hands-on. So I don't know how it's going to be when I try to sleep, but I'll see. But you can hear it. It is a little loud. Kind of like a fan, maybe. And then over here is the humidifier. And the humidifier, you want to keep it around 50% or so is what the, if I remember correctly, it was what it said. Here, it says here, the recommended humidity settings is 50%. So, anyhow, I highly recommend this if you have puppies that you're tube feeding that aren't sucking. Or if you're afraid that the mother's going to roll on them and you don't want her to crush them. This is another good thing to do. But it's a bad thing to do if the temperature isn't right and you mess up in that aspect. Because temperature being wrong, you can kill the puppy. Especially when you're talking about little teeny weeny teacup puppies. Regular sized puppies, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those ones that are born 2 ounces, 2.5 ounces, that aren't sucking. And a lot of times they aspirate. If you allow a puppy to get cold, this is how they die. You allow the puppy to get cold, and they don't get that cold. So they can't maintain their own body temperature. You let them get cold, and then they turn around and suck, or let's say they did suck and then you let them get cold. Either way, if they've got food in their stomach and they're cold, that food, that milk, comes up through their lungs for whatever reason. I don't know that, but I know it happens. I've lost many puppies. It comes up through there, because I've been doing this for 30 years. I don't lose them lately, but I have lost. But it comes up through their lung and gets in their lungs. And once it gets in their lungs, you can start them on Clavamox and sometimes save them if you catch it early enough. You can put them up to your ear and you can listen, or you can get a stethoscope and that really makes it easier. But sticking them up to the ear, listening, if you don't have the stethoscope, and even though I have a stethoscope, I like to stick them up to my ear because you can really hear it. It sounds very raspy. When you hear that, get them started on that clavamox. It's most likely not gonna kill them, the clavamox, but it's definitely not good for them. But I've given it to many, and I don't believe I've ever killed any because of the clavamox. But if you start them early enough, you can reverse that problem, hopefully, unless it's really severe. And a lot of times when you're tube feeding, it gets in there too, through the process of the tube feeding. That's the reason why I don't want the unexperienced vet techs tube feeding my puppies. So if you have that problem and they're starting to, you have it severe when they're tilting their head back, when they're stretching their neck back, because they're trying to breathe, and stretching their neck backwards helps them breathe better. When you see that, they're most likely not going to live. That's when they need hospitalization. That's when they need this. So you put them in there, and next time it happens to me, I'm going to see what happens, because that oxygen, from what my vet told me, that when that oxygen hits their lungs, you immediately see progress. They kind of just snap out of what they're going through. So anyhow, I hope this helps save some lives.